What is good, Life Podcast? What is good? Welcome back. We are back with another episode, man. It is episode 34. This is crazy, bro. It's episode 34, bro. I know, bro. We
Hey,
moving right now, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We doing
man.
good, bro. We doing good. It's crazy. It looks crazy, bro.
Yeah,
It looks crazy, bro.
1835?
Bro, we're almost
Dang,
at
you're right
35, bro.
here.
That's wild, bro.
Dang, that's
That's
fire.
wild, bro.
And
But
honestly, too, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, hold on. How far I had to, but honestly, too, like, I haven't been, like, I just been clipping a whole lot of stuff because I told myself, like, when I'm in Florida, when I got, like, the free time, I'm gonna just dump. So, like, we've been dugging without me even, like, really posting. But when I start
yeah,
posting, like, how, like, really supposed to be, it's gonna be fire. Like that's gonna be like, because people are missing out. You feel me? Because
yeah.
I haven't like I have the time, but like I'm leaving soon, so like my mind isn't focused on like packing and all these other
Yeah,
things and like I got to get ready for my crib and so it's been a lot. But like when my window open up, it's over with. Like
yeah,
podcast. Because I already got my clip. I already got the clips. It's just more of the fact that like my Wi-Fi trash. Man, I'm gonna give it a bug. Like the Wi-Fi trash.
yeah.
The Wi-Fi trash. I don't want my dad to hear me, but like this shit.
Nah, you good, bro. I understand. Trust me. I understand that Wi-Fi, bro. That ain't no
So
joke, bro. That ain't
yeah,
no
bruh,
joke, bro.
bruh. If you're Wi-Fi trash, bro,
It's
bruh.
hard.
You know. It's hard, bro. You got.
You gotta thug it
But
out,
yeah, though,
bro. Oh,
you
bro.
gotta check it out. You gotta figure it out.
That's a
So what I've been
fact,
doing is
man.
I just been clipping everything and having like I already got like a whole bunch of clips already like you feel me. So when that time comes,
That's a
you
bad.
feel me. So
That's a bad. Shoot, asking, man. How was your weekend, bro? How was your weekend, bro? It's Tuesday now, so how was your weekend, dog?
yeah, but I feel like every other day I hear how my weekend was.
Facts.
My weekend, dang, honestly, this weekend was just real life relax. Like I just had to I had to get in that mode of like one more week left. You feel me? I had to like get into that next transition of like this is kind of like do or nothing right now. Like is lay everything out right now.
Yeah.
So this weekend was really just one of those like reminders, like that reminder of your purpose, your reminder of like who created you, and like just a full on reminder of why I came here and how I got here, and just
Oh,
you know putting my mind back on the straight path, like getting my mind back on track,
I
honestly.
like that.
So this is a W weekend for sure. What about you, bro?
My weekend was kind of like the opposite, bro. You was more so relaxing. I was, man. So I mean, for me, work was like, we had a lot of patients this weekend, so it was like, it was just fast paced. I was just working. So I really didn't have no like chill time at work, which I usually would have chill time to like read the Bible and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, work was flooded, and then like I still had to do my streams and stuff like that. So it was more so a basic weekend. Like it wasn't
Okay, I see.
no learning and stuff like that. It was just a normal weekend. But
It was just get through it, get to the week.
get through the weekend type of weekend. But
That's
now,
what you
you know what I'm
said.
saying? We doing good. Like yesterday, we went to go hoop and stuff like that. We got back on track yesterday, pretty much. So yeah.
That's smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come
that's all.
on, man.
Yeah, yeah, so smooth. Yeah, that's what it's really all about. Like just getting back on track. You feel me?
Yeah,
Because people get off track and then get far straight. So
that's
you wanna
fact.
always remind yourself and always come back. Be strong.
Yes, sir. That's a fact, man. And getting in today's topic, we're trying something new, man. So getting in today's topic, man, we got steps to a successful life, man. And Day Day, go ahead and start us, cause I'm still trying to figure out what we got going on today, man. Start us off
All
right,
right.
man.
So this what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna start off step one, and then we're gonna go all the way to step 10, right?
Okay.
But each step we're gonna talk about it, right? So
All right.
each step we're going to talk about it, we're going to explain it, why that step is important,
Okay.
and we're going to explain like the benefits of that step, right? So I think you see what I'm saying. So like
Yeah.
for
Okay.
step one,
I
right?
get it.
Step one is the plan, right? Like you always want to start off with a plan, and the benefits of planning is you're able to see, you have a vision. Like whenever you have a vision, whenever you have like a mindset or a goal you're trying to reach, something you're trying to attain, um no, and you plan it, you kind of got like a route. It gives you like a guideline. You feel what I'm saying? So step one to have like a successful life, or be able to unlock things you want, is to plan it, to see it, to visualize it. You feel me?
That's
What
facts.
about you, bro?
I agree. To plan, bro. That's the best way to start things off, especially when it comes down to, you want to become successful in something, or, business or anything like that. You need a plan, right? You need a plan. You need something to start off of, because if you don't have a plan, you wouldn't know where to start. And I feel like a lot of people get confused when it comes down to where to start, right? A lot of people, what they say nowadays, they try to look for other people with the answers, right? Instead of like
Hmm.
trying to figure out their own answer, or making down a plan so that they can figure out their answers, right? Like we'll sit here and be like, oh, can you help us with this and this and that, or can you put me on to this and this and that, but not trying to do it
Hmm.
ourselves, right? Like not making a plan on how to do it. Like it's easy, you just got to make a plan. But that's what I would say. Yeah.
And I like that you said that, because that's another big thing that we do is like we say, "Oh, can you put me on, or can you help me?" rather than putting yourself on it and giving yourself the help. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like if that person can't help you, what are you going to do then? Are you going to like stop? Are you going to settle? You feel me?
Thanks.
So it's real important to like visualize, especially like if you get a vision or something comes to your heart. That means it's meant for you, right? Like if you tell somebody to put you on and then they put you on, what if it's not for you? But if you sit time, you tell yourself like, say, bro, like I want to become the best streamer, and you sit there and take like 5 to 20 minutes writing out your plan, it becomes more pure, it becomes more wholesome, it becomes more real.
Yeah.
So like it's real good and real important to plan. And planning isn't just like planning isn't just something that in the moment, right? Like you can literally plan your day out, right? Let's say
Facts.
like just planning your day out makes you become a successful person, because now since you just plan your day out, now what you're doing is you're able to like have a guideline for your day, and then your day, and then once you do that, you can just level up. You feel me? You can say, oh, if I can plan my day out, I can plan my week out. If I can plan my week out, I can plan my
Yeah.
month out. You feel me? It's that little small wins whenever you do those planning. You feel me? So I think that's real important. That's step one though. Remember this, okay?
That's
Hold
step
on, let me
one.
make
What's
sure we.
step two now, man?
Step one is
It's
plan, all
plan.
right? Step one is plan. And then step two is gonna be action,
Ooh,
That's
I
step two
like
is gonna
that.
be the action. You feel me? But with the action though, it's more of just taking steps, right? Step two, when we say action, it's not like, oh, go all in or nothing right now, right?
All
Step
right.
two is just, doing your research. Step two is praying. That's one of the biggest action, right? You plan and then you pray. The double P. For me, it go back to back. You plan and you pray. And when 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 you're taking your action, you gotta have that thought process of you know I'm not there yet. You feel me? Because you only at step two. A lot of people take the action and then they let themselves down. They say, "Man, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna go. None of this gonna work." So they get stopped at step two. But step two is just the action. So you gotta mind yourself like, I'm not there. Okay, that's the biggest thing with step two, action, and remember, like, it's more to go. What
I
about you,
agree,
bro?
bro. I agree. Step two is action. Like, you gotta take the steps on your plan, right? Like, you just wrote down your plan. You just came up with this big plan. Now you gotta take some action, right? Like we know before, you may have had a plan. You may didn't take no action. You seen how that worked before, right? So this time, now that you got a plan, take some action, right? Like he said, make sure
Mhm.
you keep in your prayer, right? Pray to God, pray and ask for the things that you want, but also take some action, right? You have your plan now. Now God has something He can steward for you. And now you just take the action every day. Once you're taking action, now it's like you're working with God as well, right? You're working side by side with God. You praying,
Mhm.
right? He's answering your prayers, but you're also taking action too. So your plan is working out, right? And He has something to steward. So I think action is very important as number two after you make a plan, so that you can figure out the things through the action, right? Like you'll never know
Yeah.
how to get your results without going through the action, right? If you just plan and then expect your plan to automatically get you the results, that's where a lot of us mess up at. We try to look for the results and not take no action. We gotta have a plan, but we gotta take that action too, and then that's how you get your results. But yeah.
Yeah, and another thing with action is like action comes with gratitude, right? Like gratitude is
Ooh,
a
I like
form
that.
of
Yeah.
action to be grateful, to be grateful for everything that comes, because sometimes,
Facts.
during the action and like during the going through the things, you learn a lot more during that. Like you see things differently if you just be grateful, and if you're grateful, that's one a form of action. So always remember that, like gratitude is a form of action. You feel
Facts.
me? So I think that's real important to make sure that we remember. And step three is focus, right? You plan and you take action, and now we have focus, right? Like I think focus is the biggest thing, right? Because after the action, guess what happens? We get distracted, and we want to go back into the world. We want to go back into doing what he did or she did. You feel me? But
That's
but if you
facts.
take that action, you gotta be laser focused after that, because if you not focused, guess what? All that planning and all that action, it goes down the drain. So you plan, you take action, and you become focused. You lock in. Even though truthfully, honestly, like I say this is step three, because after you plan and after you take action, how serious are you, right? Like how bad do you want it? And this is why it's step three, because once you get to that third phase, it's like, okay, I'm locked in. You see what I'm saying? So what about you, bro?
I like that, and I agree, bro. After you take action, that next step needs to be you locked in. You need to be you focused, because you could take action, like he said. You could take action. Say, you got a plan, right? You wrote down a plan. Say you wrote down like a 6 month plan, right? You took action on it, and it's like the third month. If you're not focused, if you're not locked in, you may drop, or you may like fall back into what you was doing, right? And now you miss out on them 3 extra months that you needed to get to where you wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Just because you lost focus, it wasn't that necessarily the plan didn't work. It just you lost focus. You wasn't paying attention. You got distracted by the little things that you thought was for you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's not necessarily be things that are sometimes intentional with losing our focus, right? Sometimes it's things that come into our life that we don't expect, but it just so
Yeah.
happened to distract us from our plan, from our focus, right? So that's why it's important to not also like yeah plan, take action, but also stay focused, because if you lose focus, your whole plan is done, right? Now you go back to step one, and we don't want to do that. So stay focused, stay locked
I
in.
I completely agree, and that's why step four is one of, like, the more vocal steps, right? It's sacrifice, right? Like what are you willing to lose to stay more focused, right? Like what are you willing to lose to keep taking that action, and what are you willing to lose to stay according to your plan, right? Because if your plan doesn't line up with the people around you, are you going to cut those people around you? Are you going to sacrifice that? Are you going to give up free time to be more dialed in? You feel me? So
Facts.
sacrifice it's what caps your plan and your action and your focus off, because once you take that sacrifice, now you became a new person. Now you are what your plan said you to be. You feel what I'm saying? So sacrifice is something I think that's is just the most slept on part, because with the planning and with the action, with the focus, what have I given up to really cap it all off? Because if we don't make that sacrifice, if we don't make that change, if we don't lose something or give something away, ho- are you still focused? Like, are you still you?
That's
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? So I think sacrifice is something real, real big that we gotta like put an emphasis on. What about you, bro?
I agree, bro. That's something that's slept on, is sacrifice. Like you have to be willing to, put something in, drop something to get something out, right? Like for example, the same way you have to, sacrifice. Let's say you want a better life, right? Your life is bad right now. You want a better life. You have to sacrifice not telling yourself bad things, right? To have a better life. You got to
Mm.
sacrifice not thinking negative, right? Think more positive now. So same thing with your plan, your focus, your attention, right? Your action. You gotta sacrifice whatever it is. May that be people, may that be losing sleep sometimes, right? You gotta sacrifice some things to get to where you want, right? If you want something on the outside, you gotta be willing to sacrifice something on the inside, right? So even with ourselves, like I said, we wanna be better people. We can't be better people without killing the negative version of ourselves, the hurt version of ourselves, like healing from that, like sacrificing that past version, right, to get to the new version of
Mm.
myself. So that means I have to be willing to stop, drinking, stop clubbing, stop smoking, stop partying, doing all that so that I can get the life I want. But it's that
Yeah.
sacrifice that'll allow you to do that, right? The sacrifice of people to allow you to stay focused. The sacrifice of, things that are distracting you from where you want to go. But I agree, bro. Sacrifice is definitely have to focus for sure.
Yeah, and I think like one of the biggest thing about sacrifice is like a lot of people don't ever get to reach that point because they're afraid of losing something, right? So when they get done with the focus, when they come into the focus phase, and then they locked in, and then they start to say, "Dang, my friend, if I stop talking to my friend, I might lose it all." Or they say, "Dang, if I cut off everybody," like they become a fear. So
Yeah.
you know focus is focus, that transition to focus, the sacrifice phase is kind of like the sunken part, right, where a lot of people fall off because they say they're focused but they're not willing to give up, or they're not willing to give, or they're not willing to change, or they're not willing to be what their plan tells them to be, you feel me?
Right.
So um and I think that's why the after the sacrifice phase it comes stability, right? Like how strong are you, right? Like how firm could you be after you gave up all that stuff, right? Like after you say, I'm gonna cut this person off, I'm gonna cut that person off, and and sacrifice is like probably the hardest part, right? Like whenever you gave so much up, and that's your lowest part. Like when you sacrifice something, you're very uncomfortable. Like this is not you no more, right? Like you're not used to being up till 1 o'clock in the morning because you gotta finish your task. You feel me? That becomes very uncomfortable. But that stability phase is how strong are you? How bad do you want it? Like how true to your plan, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this is step 5, because this is the middle part. This is where you got through the hard part. You fought, and I was like, how strong are you? How firm are you? And how much do you trust God, right? Like you prayed, right? And how grounded are you to God when you first prayed about this stuff, right? And so stability is another, like this is the sacrifice and stability, and then that step after that is that middle part that we all sleep on, because it's hard to get there. And that's why like the stability part is that step 5 is really like it's you find out who you are, right? That's when you find out who you really are, and that's when people find out who you are, right? Like you plan, and then you take action. You posted all these things, and then you stay focused. You post every day. You post every day. You post every day. Then you took a sacrifice. You stop talking to people, and now you're in that stability part, right? Are you gonna keep posting? Or let's say if somebody invites you, they say, "Yo, bro, come on with me." Are you gonna go out and go smoke with them? But you haven't done all of that, these first 4 steps. Now you get to that middle step, somebody like all the negative energy, all the sacrifices come attack you, attack you, attack you. Are you gonna bend or break? You feel me? Are you gonna show up to the moment, or you're gonna fold? You feel me? So stability is real, real big. What about you, bro? How you feel about that?
I agree, bro. Stability is big, bro. It's very big, and like you said, bro, it's the middle part, bro. Because the middle part is where you have to be the most stable at, right? And I don't mean the most stabilizing. You have to be like the best version of yourself or the worst version of yourself. Stable is just like you're in that in between where you just got from being at the bottom, right? When you was planning, you was making the plans, you had to take action, sacrifices. You got rid of all that stuff. That's when the bad was going in your life. Now your life's starting to get a little bit better, right? So now we gotta become more stable, right? We gotta become more comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? We have to be more stable in that part of our life, right? Um, Not necessarily saying like things won't be good for your life at step 5, but I'm just meaning like you got to be more stable, as in like like they said, when people come around and try to knock you off your path, how stable are you, how secured are you to where you're at right now, right? How stable are you with God, right? Like it shouldn't be nothing that could distract you or get you off your plan, knock you off your focus now, because we done already sacrificed the things, right? The things that was distracting us, the people that was distracting us, we already done sacrificed that. So it's like now we have to
Yeah.
be stable. Now we have, when little things come around, because it won't be big things no more. We done went through the big phases. We done sacrificed the big stuff, people and all that. But now it's gonna be the little things that come at us, right? Like money problems, right? Little money problems. Maybe somebody got hurt in your family, right? Like death or something like that. This is where we have to be more stable at. This is where we have to stay strong at, because like, yeah, we sacrificed what we already had to, but it's the other little life stuff that comes around, which why we have to be more stable in that. But yeah, that's what I would say for step
I,
5.
I like that you said that because that's real, like true, right? It's like, okay, we gave up the stuff that we want, like we thought was needed to give up, but now like that stability part is, we're giving up. God is seeing how. Oh, okay, dang, okay. Let's think about this one, because this stability part is real deep. Like now, like this stability part is like, it's God testing you, like how strong are you, right? Like, okay, you say you give up money, okay, I'm gonna take money from you. Now how do you feel now? Like, it's not you giving it up willingly. Now it's not you saying here, here, here. It's God saying, give me, give me, give me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let me see how you react, right? Like this stability part, it's all a test, right? It's all just like off of your reaction, right? Let's say for instance, you can be dead broke right now. How are you gonna be? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna show
yeah,
up and keep being you after all you sacrifice? Or are you gonna like get down on your knee, your hands? I mean, you should do it regardless. Get on your hands and cry. But are you gonna get down on your hands and knees and cry out of lack, right? That's the difference, right? Are you gonna get on your hands and knees and cry out of lack, or that I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this? Or are you gonna say, God provide me, thank you for this thing? Like, it's two different forms of
yeah,
of, of prayer, right? You're gonna pray out of lack, or you're gonna pray out of gratitude, and that's the stability page, because that's what steps you into the next one, right? Now that's what steps you into to step 6, separation.
ooh,
That's where step 6 happens. You either elevate, or you go back down to back to everyone else, right?
yeah,
Because if you let's say a person who's praying out of gratitude, guess what? God is going to bless them. God is going to put them to that next level, and then that separation is in life in general, because now you became who your plan told you to be. Like now you're coming to the end of your plan. Like you said, like let's say a person who wants to be rich, right? You have no money, but in your heart you feel rich. That's the separation, because you don't need to see it to believe it. Why? Because you done been through all these things. You know, it's like you plan, you take your action, you trust God. You stay focused, and you sacrifice, and now you got to stay firm. And guess what? You get elevated, because you did all these. You stuck to the process. You trust. You stay focused. That's the most biggest thing. You stay focused while in that middle phase,
yeah,
because that like you stay focused while going into that middle phase. If you didn't stay focused while going to that middle phase, do you think you'll be elevated? No. Why? Because you would have freaked out when you had a sacrifice. And then once you become more tests on top of the sacrifice, you would have been all the way broken. And then that elevation, you would have dropped down. You would have to start back from plan one,
yeah,
because you feel me, you folded. So that elevation, and it's not elevation, it's more of a separation. Like you see who for who now. Like you see who did good during that middle phase, and you see who was just bull stuffing during that middle phase. You feel what I'm saying? So
that's
I,
a
I like
fact.
that. Like, what about you, bro?
I agree, bro. 6 is separation, bro. This is where you figure out like who's made for it, right? Like who really took these steps, right? Because now that we're at step 6, we see step 6 is separation. We get to see who's been working, right? So this is like kind of how me and Dede talked about is right halftime, right? Halftime, third quarter. This is where you see that
Mm-hmm.
separation, right? Like this is where
Mm-hmm.
for 4, for example, 4, you sacrifice, maybe you sacrifice instead of going to parties, right? Now you're more stable, right? You're doing your things that you need to. You're not getting distracted by halftime. And this is where separation
Yeah.
comes now it's third quarter, it's separation. This is where you start to elevate yourself. You start to separate from the people that's been around you, right? The people that staying the same, doing the same stuff, or the people that couldn't sacrifice anything, right? The people that wasn't trying to sacrifice anything, or who couldn't be stable long enough, right? Because it wasn't coming fast, right? It didn't hit them in 3 months, right? But it hit you in 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where that separation
Mm-hmm.
comes. Is like you stayed stable through that 3 to 6 months. You didn't give up in that 3 to 6 month range. You kept going. You
Yeah.
separated yourself. So now it's like that
Mm-hmm.
competition that fell off at sacrifice stability. 1 second. sacrifice stability, they're falling down, right? Because they're getting
Yeah.
complacent. Like it's not happening fast, right? They done went through action, they done planned, they done action, they done focus, they done sacrifice, right? Now it's like they feeling like they're not where they want to be because they went through everything, but it didn't
Mhm.
happen for them, right? But this is where
Yeah.
that's why you have to be stable. And if you made it to separation, you were stable, right? And that's where that separation comes, that stableness, that knowing that it's gonna happen, that knowingness, right? That we talk about,
Mhm.
knowing that God is gonna get it
Yes,
done, knowing
sir.
that it's gonna happen, right? This that knowingness, and then that's where you start to separate, because it's like, okay, now God is like, okay, I trust Him, right? I trust Him with
Boom.
everything I gave Him. I trust Him with the stuff that I
Yes,
done
sir.
already let Him handle, right? And this is where you separate. This is where you start going up. You start excelling. Your life starts going good. Everything starts falling in your lap. But you gotta go through everything to get there, though. But yeah,
Hmm. and and that's what step 7 is, right? Trust. Now you're at the trust phase, because now you're in complete trust, and it's not even for the people. Let's say people who elevated, right? Like you trust and you thank God for the position that He put you in, because now you trust that you can keep being you, right? Like, because you evolved, you changed, like you got elevated, you trust, and like you're at your highest, and you're pure, you're full of gratitude, you're full of trust that, like, yeah, I'm at where I'm thankful for, I want to be at, but I'm 2 steps away from the main goal, right? Because
yeah,
it's 10 steps, it's 9 steps of the process. So, and then the people who decline, you have to trust that you can get back on track, right? Like, yeah, you messed up, yeah, you fell off, yeah, you did this, but how strong is your trust? Like, how true are you to your plan? Like, even though you messed up, even though you fell off, like, do you trust yourself enough to get back on track? Do you trust yourself enough to, elevate? Because even if you, let's say, even if you do fall off after that separation, let's say, even if you weren't strong in that stability phase, like, how much do you trust yourself? Because even if you're in that phase, it's the middle phase. It's very quiet. It's not known. You don't know until you get to that separation phase. And once you get to that separation phase, that's when you find out who you are. And if you high, you stay high on trust. And if you low, you still stay low. You still stay high on trust no matter what. Because you have to trust that you're going to get to the next step. You have to trust that your plan is real. You have to trust that it's all going to happen. But if you get to that stability phase, and then you come to that separation phase, and then you fall off, you didn't trust your plan from day one. So now
that's
you really
facts.
got to go all the way back. You don't even get to go to step 8, 9, because you lost trust, and now you got to go replan. You got to take more action. You got to refocus. You got to do all these things again because you lost trust, and that's why trust is towards the end. Like, yeah, you trust over the whole thing, right? But you're trusting your plan since day one, of course. But now you have to trust if you can make it through, if you can get to the point you want to be at.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? So trust is real, real important. That's why trust is this. It's essential. It's a core to the plan. Like, it's a core to your plan, but it comes so broad towards the end of the plan because you start to see it now, right? Like, you start to feel it. You start to become it. So now you trust in you. Your trust is at the high. Your trust has to be at the highest towards the end because you're so close to the blessing. It gets harder. It gets harder. The thing is, right? It gets harder towards the end of the blessing because you start to, like, see the cycles repeat. You start to, like, replan, but it's not like a real plan. You start to take action, but it's just more action, like, right? And everything just increases. So as everything increases, guess what? The sacrifice increases, the challenges increases, and all these things. But your trust also increases. And at this point in your life, your trust has to be at the highest because you have all these battles and you're just 2 steps away from your main goal. You're just 2 steps away. You
and
just
that's
right there.
facts.
So trust is real, real important. What about you, bro?
I like that, and I agree, bro. Trust is one of those things that we kind of overlook, right? Like, I feel like trust is something that we have to do, especially if you want to be successful. And you got to realize that when it comes down to ourselves as humans, is we're trusting anything regardless, right? We're trusting something regardless. So even if you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing something, you're trusting that you can't do it. You know what I mean? You're trusting your other thoughts of yourself, right? Like, for example, we have two thoughts. Like, we always be thinking two sides with ourselves, right? Like, we can or we can't do something, right? So if you know that you're trusting something, you're gonna trust one of those sides, that you can't or that you can do it, right? And most of the time people choose that they can't do something, right? And they trust that. Why not take that trust and trust yourself that you can do something, right? Like I feel like we need to flip around our words, like we always talk about, like flip from our negative perspective to our positive perspective. So thinking more positive now, like how can I trust myself, right? Like, and we always talk about, and I always talk about, starting with cleaning your room, because that was the easiest way for me to start to trust myself, was just by little things like that, cleaning my room, telling myself I'm gonna do something and then doing it. So telling myself, okay, I'm gonna clean my room today, and then I did it and I felt better, right? That's how you gain trust with yourself. So when it comes down to trust, I think it's very important. Like you said, you got to trust your plan, right? Like through all this stuff, stability, separation, and all that, you had to trust, right? You got to trust your plan is going to work out. Not only trusting in the plan, but trusting that in yourself that you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Because we can trust in the plan all we want. We know our plan is 10 out of 10. It's going to work, right? But we have to trust ourselves to take that action each and every day. And I feel like that's where, sometimes that separation can fall off, right? We fall off in that separation
Mm.
because we don't trust ourselves, right? We don't trust that we can do
Mhm.
it. We trusted ourselves through the whole through the past 4 steps, but we forgot there's 10, right? We got to keep going. We got to keep
Mm.
trusting the process. We got to keep moving. So I think a lot of people fall off around that trust area, and that's one of the main important parts where you need to be the strongest version of yourself, is in trust, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Yeah. And also to go with trust is patience, right? Like trust and patience go together
Facts.
because the more patient you are, the stronger your trust is. Why? Because you understand that it's something bigger behind all this. And I think a person who's patient and who just keep going no matter what, their reward is bigger, right? Because they've been through more, they see more battles, they learn more, they they evolve more, right? Because
Ooh,
their
yeah.
trust is so strong and their patience is so beautiful. So I think patience is something that's real beautiful. But look, patience is through all of it, right? Like you got to be patient through your planning. You got to be patient through your action. You got to be patient while you got to be patient through all these steps, and that leads us to step eight. To step eight, yeah, we have step eight,
Yeah.
and step eight is I think we all feel like we're at step eight. Step eight is you know the, damn step eight is the win phase, right?
Ooh.
And I say in my heart, step eight is the win phase because that's when you you got everything you wanted, right? And we could say, oh, what about step 9 or 10? But we'll talk about that later. I think in my heart, step eight is the win phase because that's when you got everything you wanted, right? You trusted God and then God gave you. You stay patient and He gave you. You know what I'm saying? You separated and He gave you, right? So in my opinion, I think step eight is that win phase. And I'm gonna explain why though. I'm gonna explain why afterwards once we get into step 9 and 10 though. What about you, bro?
Step eight, winning phase. I agree, bro. Like after you trust, things just start falling in your lap, right? Like we were saying earlier, like God just start giving you things, right? After you trust Him, now He can trust you with certain things in your life,
Everything.
right? So,
Yeah.
whatever that may be, whatever you planned, whatever you have on your plan, God is trusting you with it, so He is going to allow you to start winning with your plan. Things are going to start falling in line. Your plan is going to start to connect, right? You're going to start checking more things off your list that you've been writing down on your plan. So I agree. Like after you start trusting, what I'm saying, you created that separation. Now it's just like God is just handing you the things that you want,
Mm.
right? So I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real big because I think because once you get into that step eight phase, you're not you're not trying so hard no more, right? Like everything is coming. Like you're not pushing. You're not pushing. You're attracting. Like you're letting things fall to you. And whenever you feel like things are falling to you, like you're not really realizing you're winning, but you're actually winning. Why? Because all the things you asked for, all the things you want, it fell into your lap easily. And I think like the biggest thing about step eight that we all like we get confused. We think wins are like big wins, right? We think
Mm,
wins are
facts.
are $10,000 a week, or we think wins are all these crazy numbers. But wins are just being you, right? Wins are
Yeah.
just understanding like I fear sin. I wins are just like, let's say a person who wakes up 10 days in a row, they do it regularly now, right? Like In their action, their first plan was, you know what, I'm gonna clean my room every day, right? And now you're at step 8. You don't even gotta think about cleaning your room every day. It's just wired in you because it's just part of your daily life, and that's a win. That's one of the biggest wins because you completed your plan, or like your plan is kind of written off now, and I think that leads me to step 9 is you once you get to step 9 you repeat. I think in my head you go back to go planning. Why? Because you want to evolve, you want to take that next step, you want to get to that next level. Like, you won, so what do you do at step 9? You go back and you repeat, and once you're repeating, you just adding +5 to everything. Like, let's say a person, like, let's say Perry, he said, like, we talk about cleaning your room, like, oh, I'm gonna clean my room every day. Let's say, okay, no, I'm gonna clean my room, but then I'm gonna clean my bathroom. You feel me? Now you adding volume, you adding volume, adding to everything you do, to the sacrifices, to all of that. You just adding, and you repeat. That's step 9. You feel me? Because you won. And then once you repeat, guess what? Do everything is time too. So you won, now you repeat, and guess what? Let's say a person who's making $5,000 a week, you times it by 2 now because you see that you can make 5. If you can make 5, why not make 10? You feel what I'm saying? If you can make 10, and then once you get there, guess what? It's easy. Everything is just you now. And then step 10. Oh, I'll let you go step 9. Talk about step 9. My fault, bro.
Oh, I
Yeah.
honestly, I was gonna say something different for step 9. I'm thinking like for me,
Yeah, I'm listening. Let's go.
I would say for me, step 9 would be like who you are, right? Like after you
Mm,
won, it's like who are you now, right? Like who have you become? Who are you as a
you
person
were,
now?
mm,
So
I
I
like
think
that.
for me, step 9 would definitely be like who are you now? Like who have you become? Like yeah, you won now, but what type of person are you now, right? Like
Ooh,
how can we like break you down now? Like how are you as a person now? Like you won, you got everything right. Like
ooh.
who are you now? So I think
I like that.
for number 9, that
I
would be
think
me.
step 9 is that's what it is. Actually, like, who are you? Like, who have you become after the one?
Yep,
Are you still that person that was planning since day one? Or are you that player now?
yep. And then
Mm.
after that, that's why I
Now
will add where you put number
the
9.
repeat.
Yep, like the repeat. Now it's like okay,
The repeat. Yeah,
now we
because
reflect,
the
we
yeah
repeat, and yeah, okay,
mhm. Yeah, I like that because the journey never ends. Honestly, like, I completely agree with that because step 10 would be, you repeat because you got to keep going. You feel me? You can't stop.
yep,
You can't become like, that was my thing. My thinking was, you get to step 10 and now it's who are you? You feel me?
yeah,
But no, your step 9 is who are you, and then your step 10 is you repeat because you become better.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now
not
you
for
start
sure.
to you it's like you got rid of the old version. Okay, I realize who I am. I'm a new version, and now let's
Yeah,
repeat the cycle, but let's do it better now. Let's do a better plan. Let's have a better plan. So I
yeah.
think yeah, I
I
think that
agree.
was number
And then
9. Like
that's
who
when
are
everything
you?
becomes times 10. Like, you just
Yep,
keep evolving. Like, if I can see 10, I can see 20. If I can see 20, I can see 30. But each time you're doing that, you're going through the same process.
yep,
Why? Because you're planning, then you taking action, then you staying focused, and then you're giving up more, and then you having more tests. But what hardship comes with ease through all that, right? Because you've been there before.
yep,
Think about it like that. Like, each step, once you get to that step 10, you gotta, go back. You've been through everything before already. So it's not even like you oh, I gotta do this, and I gotta do this, I gotta do. Now you just flowing. Now you a complete flow state. You feel me?
facts.
And I think that's the most beautiful thing is once you get past the first 10 steps, like, once you really come, like, that first time getting past the first 10, after that, like, if you really make it through and you became who you want to become, and you became who you prayed to be, once you get to step 10 and you go back, everything else is easy now.
Yep,
That's when it's super easy. And that's how life is, right? Once you take that first step to anything in life and you complete it, it's easy. So once you complete these first 10 steps to life, everything else like that is easy. And that's why people say, oh, the rich get richer, or the strong become stronger, because they know what it feels like to be broke once. They know what it feels like to be at that rock bottom. Like, you can't hit rock. I mean, you can't hit rock bottom more than once. In my heart, I won't hit rock bottom more than once because, like, I know what rock bottom feels
feels
like. I
like
know what the
yep,
lowest of the low feels like. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's like yeah, you're gonna have that sacrifice, that stability and separation, that middle phase each time. But you always got to think about where you first started at, and
Yep.
that's what makes it so beautiful. Because if you think about where you first started at, each time you go to that phase, like after you reach, that next level, you're gonna like, man, bro. I remember, like for us, right? We're gonna like, man, I remember, bro, when we was streaming on a podcast on a phone and a 4 hours ring, like you feel me? It's like so much like we can just say like this is that middle phase, right? Like or like my lowest of the low, I was streaming off a computer with a wooden chair with my TV being my light. You feel me? So it's like you always got to think about those moments because once you think about those moments, guess what? You have trust that you're gonna rise from that. You have trust that it's gonna get better. You feel me? And that's a part of the plan. So
Yep.
you gotta appreciate every single day. You feel me? So I really do like that. That's what said that because that's the truth, bro. That's the truth.
That's facts, bro. And
That's the
that's like the full 10 right there. Like, I mean, what we got?
yeah. You wanna
We got plan, we got
yeah
action, we got
yeah.
focus, sacrifice, stability, separation, trust, winning, who are you, and then
Yeah.
reflect. And
Yeah.
that's really the 10. TV being the light, God dog. Bro, for real,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
real.
You know me?
That was them days. That
That
was the
was the
start.
days. That was EP 1 through 10. You was there. You was there.
Facts, bruh. But once he
If you was there, you was there.
things got better though, you know
Now
what I'm
look where we at. You
saying?
feel me? And we just grateful now. Yeah. We. You feel me? That gratitude.
That really with
I'm.
step 10 too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing right here too. I want to add on because like the steps in life is like you really go through the steps in life through everything, right? Like you really flow through the steps in life through in general because and
Yeah.
you can like that's what like, I ain't gonna lie, that's when you like deep, right? Like that, like when you realize your steps through everything, like you really like locked in with your inner and that's rare. But that's why I don't really go too far with that. But like when you locked in with yourself, you kind of like see your steps in everything. Like for me, I plan for me and Perry, we plan to have the podcast. What we did, we take action, right? And then what we did, we stay focused, right? And then we took separation. I mean, we sacrifice. What do we sacrifice? An hour of our night each night. You feel what I'm saying? Like we said, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We sacrifice that hour, and then
Yeah.
guess what? We stay stable. Like we could have had moment. Like my Wi-Fi was tripping. My Wi-Fi was trash. You feel me?
That's
My
facts.
my internet, my TV light is all trash, right? Like we gotta stay stable. We gotta stay firm. And then guess what? We took that separation. We elevated. We started posting. You feel me? We upgraded the studio. We got a ring light. We did all. We separated, and then we trust. We got that trust phase, right? We got that true
Facts.
trust. Like this is what we got to is stay strong. We gotta stay strong, and then inshallah, if God wills, we start winning. But
Yeah.
we already won. Why? Because we show up. The plan was to do what? Do it for the people. So
Facts.
technically, we already won. You feel me?
Facts.
And now it's just repeat. We just keep going on. It's just a process, and that's what I'm saying. Like the 10 step successful to life is really is just once you're in tune with yourself, once you're in tune with life, it's 10 steps to just daily life.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you just start to repeat, and it's easy. You feel what I'm saying? And I
I like
think
that.
and but that's the thing about it, right? Like you can look at it from a small perspective or a wide range, right? Like you can look at it from just your month, or you look at it from 6 months. You feel me? Like that's what 10 steps is because once you align yourself with these 10 steps that we just given, like, I ain't gonna lie, like we said, this is our first time doing it. We just went off the top of the dome, and now that I'm like really thinking about it, it's like
These 10 steps
like
really do
it really,
align
it
with
really is what it is. Yeah, it really, you feel me? It really is what it is. Like, if you align yourself with just taking plan, taking action, and doing all these things, you can just see that in your life every single day. Like, think about it. Like, you wake up, you plan to have a good day. What do? You have a good day through your action. You feel me? You smile more. You talk to people more. You do all these right things, and then you stay focused. Well, how do you stay focused during your day? You don't get distracted by the people around you. You don't get distracted by your phone. Your phone. That's a big distraction. How much you gonna bring your phone? Put your phone down to the side. Feel me?
facts.
Then guess what that is? That's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice. Why? Because you gave your phone up to stay focused. You feel me? And then stability. How do you stay stable by doing that? You don't reach for it. You don't itch for it. You don't do none of that.
Mm.
And then guess what? That creates separation. Once you create that separation of not needing your phone or not being in the world, guess what? You're winning. You're winning because 99.9% of the people in the world, guess what they're doing? Scrolling on
Scrolling.
TikTok. You feel me?
Yeah.
Scrolling on Instagram. And if you separate right there, that separation right there, you have full trust in your plan of just winning that day. And we just talking about the day alone. We just talking about something so small, the day alone. So think about what you can do with your life if you stick to this plan right here. You feel me?
Facts.
Think about that. If you just stick to the plan right here, if you trust that plan right there, just think about how a day can turn to your life. You feel what I'm saying?
That's facts.
So
I like that. And
we
that's
just
real.
we just really that's real, yeah. And I got a question for you to like what phase do you think is the most important phase, honestly? Like what phase do you would you put an emphasis on someone onto someone if they were like, were interested?
Um, I put a lot of emphasis on action. I feel like we don't take too much action. I feel like a lot of us we make plans. We know how to stay focused, and this is the thing about life. I feel like a lot of us as humans, bro, we know what we need to do. You know,
Mm,
we know what we need to do. I feel like
I
I
like
feel
that.
like a lot of us, we try to like ask other people and we try to find out so many different ways to not do it, right? We're very we're ambitious people but lazy. You know what I mean? Like we're all I feel like a lot of us are ambitious but lazy. A lot of us want to do things, we want this, we want that, but a lot of us don't take action on it. Whether that's fear or anything like that, I'm not sure. But I would put a lot of emphasis on action because I feel like a lot of people don't take action nowadays. Like, and it's so easy to
I
take
like that.
action because it's not something that's, you know, is very big. Like I used to think action was something that had to be very big, right? Like action was something that had to be you doing it for 20 hours a day, right? Like that's what I was thinking action was before, but it's not. Action is just something you do slightly every day, right? Like if I want to be a content creator, I don't have to stream every day. I can,
Yeah.
put in an hour of whatever that may be into it though, right? Like whether that's
Yeah.
editing, making a vid, or doing the actual video. But long as I'm doing that little hour every day, that's just a little action, right? That's better than nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing I will emphasize is taking action, even just a little bit of action. What would you say though? That's a good question.
For me, I would say stability for sure. I think in my
Stability,
opinion
okay.
because stability in my opinion is like you get tested, right? It's like you're at the lowest, right? Like you gave up a lot, you took action, and a lot of times, like what our generation is, we want fast action, right? But we
Yeah.
want action that makes us go action to win, right? Like we skip the whole phase, and a lot of the times when you get to that win part, you're not stable enough to be strong, right? Like you get to the win and you get all the things you ask for, not even ask for, right? Like you get all the things that comes with that fast money, and guess what? You fold and you can't handle it, or even a lot of times like it's full sin, right? It's full haram. Like there's no real benefits to it. And I think a person who's stable and who's strong is the ones who really gets the real reward, because the reward isn't wealth, the reward isn't money, the reward is the status, the reward is to be with God, right? To be one with God, and if you're able to like get to that middle part and be able to learn through the focus and learn through that sacrifice and learn through the action and learn through the plan, and you stay stable and be able to like gather all that in. I think the win, you get the win at halftime, like you get the win early, because if you're able to hold all that stuff in, you be able to be firm to what you know, and you get a taste of the win, right? Like you get a taste of that certainty, you get a taste of that trust, and all those things. So I think, in my opinion, stability is what I put an emphasis on to anyone asking or anyone wanting to know.
I like that. I like that. I ain't gonna lie. I like that. Stability is very important, bro. I ain't even gonna cap. And that
Sure.
is, I like that. Um, shoot.
But
I ain't got no questions,
uh,
bro. You got any more questions?
I
Nah,
Nah, that's really it.
these
The
are the
10
10 steps,
steps.
bro, to life for real, man.
Life.
Shoot, bro, what's your closing words for the day then?
My closing word, I'm gonna go with stability, bro. Be strong through it all. Stay. Don't lose yourself through the storm because the storm is what makes you. For me, if you can get through the storm, if you can get to that middle, if you can get through the middle part, then like you can get through everything. So have patience, keep praying, and God is with those who are patient. Like if you, God, just know that the more patient you are, the closer you are to God, and that's the
Facts.
goal, bro. That's the goal. So I hope everyone learn from this and take these 10 steps and put it in their heart and just keep going. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Keep running.
And for me, man, my closing words, I ain't really got nothing specific, but I would just like kind of summarize what we talked about. So my closing words for today is gonna be to pay attention to like all 10 of these steps and really like you know put them into your life, right? Like apply them in your life. Actually write down a plan. If you don't have a plan right now, write down you a plan. Um, and actually take action, right? Start taking action on your plan. Start becoming more locked in. Lock in with yourself. Start to learn to love yourself some more. Because through all of this planning, all the top 10, you're gonna have to learn about yourself, right? Because when you get to step 9, you're gonna have to know who you are, right? So through all of this
Mhm.
planning and stuff, take the action on your plan or whatnot, but also take time to learn about yourself, because at the end of the day, that's gonna be your biggest asset is yourself. Um, yeah, bro. That's my closing words for today, man. Hope y'all enjoyed
I like
today.
that.
Today was
Hope y'all
episode
enjoy it.
34, man. We'll be back Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If y'all boys wanna tune in
Hey,
there. Love y'all boys, man. Stay safe, stay blessed. We out, man. Hey, you talking about how y'all boys doing? I'm
yeah.
doing good though, How about you, man? Or in Diddy, you could say how you
Doing good.
doing.
Another day, another dollar, man. I can't even complain.
Facts, man. Facts, man. I
Can't
love
even
that.
complain.
But alright, man. OG, everybody else in chat, catch y'all boys. Love y'all. Stay safe, stay blessed.